So good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for having accepted this invitation. As UEF and Jeff, we are here with the Vice President of the Association Jean Monnet, Miguel Martin, and together with the President of UEF, Domenec Ruiz Devesa, and President of Jeff, Christelle Savall. The goal today and the purpose of this meeting is to have the opportunity to commemorate the first public meeting of Jean Monnet Action Committee for the United States of Europe that were established in 1956, and that today we are commemorating its anniversary. Why we are taking this opportunity? Because we are facing a very challenging moment for Europe, as it was in '56, after Europe, the European communities were trying to restart after the big defeat of the fall of the Community of European Defense. And there was this specific initiative by Jean Monnet, who was one of the founding father, of course, of our communities, but also of the driving force of this process that was trying to figure out initiatives and concrete involvement of personalities in order to strengthen the process of the European unification. Our guests are here to say to recall this moment and to see also how it can inspire our current struggle in this very particular moment of the European Union, when so many challenges are facing our societies and our union as such, and we are in front of some choices that we have to make in order to build up our future. I will give the floor first to Domenec Ruiz Devesa, as UF President, who has promoted this initiative, to the Vice President of Association Jean Monnet, Miguel Martin, and to Jeff President Christelle Savall. Please, Domenec, you have the floor. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Luisa, for the opportunity. I think it is very good that we met today, precisely on the same day. Not always anniversaries can be celebrated on the exact day, which is okay, yeah, because this is not mandatory, but of course it's even nicer when it can happen precisely on the 18th of January, because it was on the 18th of January 1956 when the Action Committee for the United States of Europe met for the first time. It is true it was created, of course, by Jean Monnet on the 13th of October of 1955, but the first meeting of the personalities that he assembled happened on a day like today, 68 years ago. So we are in the 68th anniversary. And of course, I'm very happy and honored that we can have this commemoration alongside Miguel Martin Ramos, and as Vice President of the Association Jean Monnet, who is a very committed pro-European person, active not only in the Association Jean Monnet, also in the Association of Cultural Roots of the Council of Europe, and someone that is also a friend. So it's really a very nice coincidence. And of course, when we are recalling the 68th anniversary of this Action Committee, it was very important that we could do it together with the Association Jean Monnet, which is the association that has kept alive his legacy after his passing. And this is a legacy that is relevant to our day. It is relevant for several reasons. First, because what he started with the Schuman Declaration, and then he continued as president of the High Authority of the European Coal and Steel Community, and then what he did after leaving the institutions to work from the side of society with the Action Committee. Well, this is a job that has not been completed, as we all know. In the Schuman Declaration, it was said, and he was the main drafter, it was said that the setting up of the coal and steel community was the first step towards a European federation. So that was very clear from the outset. And of course, we have come a long way since 1950, since the 9th of May of 1950. That's true. In these almost 75 years, we have a very different Europe, a Europe that we wouldn't have imagined in 1950 on the 8th of May. And I'm not going to get into all the accomplishments of the current European Union because we know them and we have little time. But we can also say that despite all the progress that we have made and despite important federal elements that we have in the current European Union, we are not yet at the stage that the founding fathers envisioned. And in this regard, this is why it's important that we commemorate the Action Committee, but also to recall his method, a method that was focused on concrete realizations and on mobilization on important personalities, influential personalities, in order to get the right political decisions. And this is still very valid. I am the president of UEF. We are at this very moment working on adopting a new treaty in Europe, a more federal treaty, meaning more democratic, more efficient, with more competencies. We believe this is an absolute necessity in view of enlargement. Many in the establishment or in the intelligentsia have been saying for, in my view, too long time that everything could be done under the Lisbon Treaty. Now, this doesn't hold water. It didn't hold water before, but in view of enlargement, no one is, I think, seriously still saying that with a union potentially of 36 member states, we are going to keep working under the current rules. And this is why the European Parliament made its proposal on the 22nd of November. It was transmitted to the European Council on the 18th of December by the Spanish presidency, and now it's on the table of the European Council, and hopefully it will be discussed in the meeting of the European Council of March, and we are putting pressure in this direction. Yesterday, President von der Leyen acknowledged the proposal by Parliament, announced a communication on treaty reform by the Commission in view of or in expecting a forthcoming discussion by the leaders. So this is precisely the right moment to join forces, UEF and Association Jean Monnet, I think, to apply the Monnet method, to jointly mobilize also personalities beyond the political sphere, intellectuals, artists, communicators, YouTubers, former important political personalities, to also support this important goal and to bring about momentum. The most important parts of or the most important objective of a commemoration should not be just the commemoration. It should be about projecting those ideas, those methodologies, and those goals into the future, to project that important and relevant legacy into the future. So I hope that we can do this together in the near future, and in a way be able to revive that important institution and tool that was the Action Committee for the United States of Europe.
Thank you very much. Now the floor is to you, Mr. Martin Ramos.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Trumellini, and thank you very much to Mr. Ruiz Devesa, to my friend Domenec, first of all, for having this initiative to commemorate this special date, and also for gathering our institutions to do it together, and also to look to the future. For us, it's a real honor to be before you today to commemorate this historical moment, this inaugural meeting of the Action Committee for the United States of Europe, founded by the visionary Jean Monnet, that was accompanied by many important people during this project. That was the reason why it was a real success. As we gather here to reflect on the importance of this milestone, let us to go into the fundamental principles of the Action Committee and understand the profound impact of this initiative on the future of European Union, because I think it's important also to remember these principles behind this Action Committee. I'm not going to talk about the figure of Jean Monnet, because maybe you already know him, and there is many things we could say about him, but he was really a very charismatic person, and always ready to work for broad projects with a great vision. When he founded this Action Committee, the aim was especially to address the crisis of his time and laying the ground down for a united Europe. The crises are still there, so maybe this is a good moment by remembering this special starting point of the Action Committee to restart working together to face this crisis. This committee was guided by fundamental principles that transcended the national borders, and so to build a strong and cooperative European community. The first of these principles was interdependence. Monnet understood that European states were too small to ensure prosperity and social development on their own, and instead of relying on national sovereignty, he advocated for independence as means to achieve peace and progress. Another essential principle of the Action Committee was the need to overcome nationalism. Monnet recognized that European history was marked by national conflicts, and so to break free from this destructive pattern. His vision was presented and centered on building a shared European identity that transcended national loyalties. In the words of Jean Monnet, Europe will be forged in crisis, and will be the sum of the solutions adopted to those crises. This pragmatic and problem-solving approach highlights another fundamental principle the Action Committee had: adaptability. Flexibility and responsiveness to crisis were essential to build a strong and resilient Europe. And additionally, I will mention another principle that was to advocate for economic integration as a means to achieve stability and well-being. The creation of a common market and a custom union were crucial steps towards realizing this vision. Economic integration aimed not only to strengthen the European economy, but also to foster solidarity among member states. Reflecting on these fundamental principles of the Action Committee, we see that Jean Monnet's vision was not only bold, but also deeply rooted in an understanding of the needs and challenges of his time. The European Union, which has evolved from these foundations, has demonstrated that cooperation and integration are essential for building a common and prosperous Europe. In conclusion, we have to celebrate this day not only as a commemoration of the past, but as a reminder of the timeless principles that guide the Action Committee of the United Europe. These principles continue to be our compass as we work together for a more united, prosperous, and harmonious Europe, especially in these times of crisis. Let us to continue building upon the legacy of Jean Monnet and his visionary counterparts, inspired by the idea that European cooperation is essential for forgoing a common destiny. I'm very happy that we can gather different institutions and we can restart by this moment as a remembering point, but also by the commemoration point, because as we were discussing with Domenec, symbol and symbolism is important. And by remembering a moment like this, we can maybe find and remembering also the principles and ideas that are still valid to face the crisis in Europe today. So thank you very much, and thank you very much, Domenec, and the rest of the organization behind this idea. I hope will be many behind in the common weeks and in the future, because we need everybody on board really to face this crisis. So thank you very much, Domenec, and thank you to all.
Thank you very much for these very important words that are not only recall us the symbol, but also the actuality of the principles and the driving ideas behind Jean Monnet action and his committee. I now give the floor to Christelle Savall. She is the president of the Young European Federalists. Thank you, Christelle.
Thank you, Luisa. If Europe is made in moments of crisis, the 2020s certainly qualify for that. And moments of crisis, as we live now, often inspire people, but also political leaders for caution, not to push for innovation, not to push for deep reforms. But actually, reforms and revolution of hope are exactly what we need in moments like this. So we can progress, so we can move forward together. And the Jean Monnet Action Committee was actually facing quite the battle, being born in a moment where the integration process was hit hard by the rejection of the European Defence Community, and that at times of challenges to the integration, such as that one, we actually see we need to push harder together to get to the goal we set up for ourselves. And the committee speaks about enlargement. If you check the founding documents, it already speaks about the place the United Kingdom could have and sees enlargement beyond the six. And today we're in a similar situation where we not only wish, but hope, but need and request out loud treaty change and enlargement in parallel. So the importance of the Action Committee can be seen in this goal of federalism and its contribution to the fight. So it was not an expert committee. It was really a political action committee because Europe is a political project, not an expert one. It's a project of citizens, of active citizens. And this was very clear to Monnet. The committee was made not only of politicians, but also of trade union leaders, and that's a proof that the United States of Europe cannot be built without civil society, without representatives, and that we can unite for this common cause. So this is the same thing we do today as Federalists, that Jeff does in the You Hope campaign we have for the election, where we build wide coalition, and this is what we discussed today, how to build wider coalition together to make the plan move forward. And we also see in the community constitution that Federalists are bridged between parties, because almost all political parties were represented. And this is the purpose of being transpartisan, that you talk to everyone, and then everyone brings also new ideas, and then you build a better plan because you have diversity in the membership of the committee, of UEF, of Jeff, of all associations where this is the case. So we're often told federalism was not the plan. Europe was supposed to be an economic project, and this was just, this big market. But actually, the big market was a means to an end. Some others acknowledge Europe as a peace project, but I think it's always good to remember, and that's what we do today, that actually the fathers, the mothers of Europe, including Jean Monnet, had this federalist plan all along. Yes, the EU is a peace project, but it's a positive peace project, which means war made impossible. And in 2022, like in 2014, like in the 1990s, we see war is still possible in Europe. And we have, as Federalists, a duty to change the meaning of some words, to put some words back on the table. So we see treaty reform, we see enlargement now. We also need to redefine sovereignty that was mentioned before, because sovereignty is the possibility to act together. And this is what we're missing now. So this body, this committee was pushing forward for United States of Europe, for federalism, and honestly, that's the solution for the problems of tomorrow, for the problems of today. But let's also be clear, it's the problems solving method of yesterday. So we have yet to solve the problems of yesterday, so we're late on that, like with the climate crisis. So we don't have time to lose. So now institutional change is openly discussed soon by governments, we hope. And we need all of us, young, less young, all the people. We need a union that is actually ready to face those challenges. And in current plenary of the European Parliament, we see those challenges. We see the rule of law challenges and why we need the United States of Europe for human rights, for democracy, that we see is really under pressure, including in the EU, in Hungary, in Greece, in Slovakia. That's just the countries that were discussed this week. And we also see decision-making is really key. Support for Ukraine is pushed by months when it's of the utmost urgency. We need foreign policy that supports our values, and this is not there yet. So that's why the United States of Europe would be this the solution to actually face the challenges, face the wars, face the climate crisis. So commemoration, like the event of today, is a reminder of the past, but it's also a future we built together, a future we built on the work of Monnet, of all the Federalists before us, and the building work is open to everyone. So may this commemoration also be a call for action for us to work on enlarging the personalities, supporting our ideas, but also for all of us who want to join in the fact that Monnet worked so much for.
Thank you very much, Christelle, for having shared with us these important reflections, very inspiring as well. May I ask if Domenec, just a few words to close this moment of commemoration, reflection, and inspiration for our coming moment of Federalist struggle.
Thank you, Luisa. I think just by way of summary, that we all agree that this is a moment of change and crisis in Europe, and we have to seize the moment. And this is the occasion for us to join forces, Association Jean Monnet, Jeff, UEF, and probably also others, to project the legacy of Jean Monnet, because what he did and what he envisioned for Europe is very necessary at this moment.
Thank you very much again. Thank you very much to you all for this intense, I would say, moment of reflection in commemorating the important first meeting of the Action Committee by Jean Monnet. I think we can close here with the promise that this is a beginning in a certain sense for us as well. So thanks a lot, and I wish you a good day and a good continuation. Bye-bye to everybody.
Thank you to all, Luisa, Miguel, Christelle, and Liviana, and David.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and hope to see you soon to follow the works.